Okay, the next game is a PlayStation port favorite of mine, Croc, Legend of the Gobos. Okay, well you're Croc and... Whoa, what the hell? Where the hell is Croc's head? Wow, this has never happened before. The backgrounds are tripping balls and Croc is headless and glitchy. I feel like Croc has just entered the world of Doctor Who. I know what to do in a situation like this. Alright, there we go. Well anyway, you're Croc, and your mission is to save all the Gobos and their king from the evil Baron Dante. The game strongly resembles the PlayStation version, but there are a few differences. The camera in the Saturn version is too close to Croc, when the PlayStation version actually gave him a lot of space. Plus the PlayStation 1's controls are pretty good, and when you run and attack, it isn't all wavy like the Saturn's version. In the Saturn version, it's almost like Croc's drunk, and it's really hard for him to move perfectly straight. Besides that, the music is the same, the gameplay is the same, but the camera and the controls really make this version on the Saturn a little difficult to play. But in its own right, it's still a decent game. Okay, the next game is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. One of the few multiplayer games that I have for the Saturn, and it is one of the few games that was on the Genesis. Why? Well anyway, in comparison there's really not much to say, except for one thing which I'll explain later. And there's also no real explanation for this game because you pretty much already know what it is. You choose your character, reach the top of Shao Kahn's tower, kill everyone else, defeat Shao Kahn, win a prize. My favorite one to fight is Motaro. Good God, I remember him being so hard to beat. But now, I can beat him easily. Yeah, you don't fuck with Shiva.
Flawless victory.
But that can't be said for Shao Kahn. My God, what a sick mofo. The game has many other things like the cheat code bar to unlock characters, and a tournament to also win prizes. Now here is my only complaint. Wait for it. Wait for it. Nah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to rickroll you all. But in all seriousness here, it's the loading time. Yeah, that's right, the loading time. The loading time is so horrible when the Genesis version took like merely a second. Why, Saturn? Why are you degrading something easy like a loading time? But overall, besides that, it's a great fighting game, great memories, but like I said before, the worst loading time you can possibly imagine. Alright, Sega Saturn, enough of the bullcrap. It's time to get serious. Next is the Panzer Dragoon series. In the first game, a man on a dragon is killed after he tries to chase around another dragon. Before his death, he lands and tells a nearby hunter to stop another dragon from reaching a certain tower. Then you take control of the dragon and the hunter by shooting the hunter's gun at all that stand in their way. You shoot with the A, B, or C buttons, and when you want to use the dragon's missiles, you hold the A button and use the joystick to lock in all the enemies, then shoot. The gameplay is kinda like Star Fox. You shoot stuff, you get a high score, and you have to watch out for walls and all the other stuff that comes in your way. There is also a sequel to this game, but it is actually a prequel. Panzer Dragoon ZY, Zooey, I don't know. It's the same game, but it's actually better controlled than the first game. There's also better enemies in this game to destroy, rather than mostly small things from the first game. The games have a beautiful layout, and graphics that are fantastic for the time. Not to mention that its soundtrack is probably one of the most memorable that the Saturn had to offer. For a series that broke amazing ground for what we see in games today, and in a series that really needs to continue to evolve, the Panzer Dragoon series is one of the few games to show off what the Sega Saturn can truly deliver. Okay, next we got Street Fighter, the movie, the game. What a mouthful. A game that basically combines the graphics of Mortal Kombat and the gameplay and characters from Street Fighter. The game starts with clips from the film, and it's actually pretty good. It's a little fuzzy, but I mean, it's better than that Sega CD piece of shit! The graphics are decent, and it has pretty cool digitized actor shots from the film. The loading time isn't bad compared to Mortal Kombat, it's decent, and the controls aren't too bad. It's kinda like the same feeling from Street Fighter 2, but it's just a little stiff. There's not much to say about this game, but it's just a decent fighting game from an awful video game movie.
You win!
Alright, the next game we got is Tempest. Well, sorry, I'll fix that in a minute. The next game is Tempest 2000. I guess if anything comes close for a video game being trippy, this is one of them. You're in space, and you play as a claw shooting enemy ships in these 3D shapes. You collect power-ups that help you shoot faster, and later you'll get help from a droid cube that assists you to help kill all the other enemies. Not to mention that its soundtrack has a pretty cool techno electronic feel to it. It's a pretty good game and it's pretty easy too, but the fact that this game was already on the Atari Jaguar, it kind of diffuses its purpose for being an original game on the Saturn. Alright, let me just fix this up a bit. Alright, now we got, if I can get it out. Alright, here we go. A triple game arcade classic pack. Virtual Fighter, Virtual Cop, and Daytona USA. Let's start with Virtual Fighter 2. You have 10 characters to select from, and... Whoa, wait a minute. Akira?
Akira! I don't know who that is! Ah!
Ready, go!
Playing Virtual Fighter 2 kinda makes me feel like I'm playing on the moon. You use the basic button A to block, B to punch, and C to kick, and when you want to use a special move, you hold A and B together. This game's alright, but it's just really slow, and personally, I'd rather stick to either Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. Alright, now we've got Daytona USA. Daytona! Oh my god, I can't get that out of my head!
Gentlemen, start your engines.
You drive with the C button and use the joystick to turn. Duh. The way you turn is a little stiff, but graphically it's okay. There's not really much to say about this, it's just an average racing game. And now we've got Virtual Cop. You're a cop, and you shoot with the A button, and to reload, you press the C button twice. Not much to say, just shoot, kill, and go on to the next level. All three of these games are pretty average arcade classics, but they really don't have any true replay value today. And now, it is time for the game that you've all been waiting for. You have two character storylines to choose from. but in the end you'll have to finish both or you won't complete the game. The children's names are Clarice and Ellie, and they both have certain dreams that are interrupted by the Nightmare King Wise Man.
Pajamas do scare me so.
No, not him. This is Wise Man. In order to save the children from having these nightmares, you play as Knights, a flying jester thingy, who flies around collecting blue marbles and other goodies so that he can destroy the 5 colored barriers. And after you destroy them, you get a giant colored ball that you must bring back to your starting point. When you've collected all 5 of the balls, you go on to face the evil servants of Wise Man, and in each level there are certain patterns of how to destroy them. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I'll just show you a couple of my favorites. For instance, this one is Rila.
Well, it's not nice.
And all you do is knock into him and then spin around him. Pretty simple enough. And then here we got this card-throwing douchebag, and all you have to do is avoid his cards and attack him. Oh, and by the way, there's this stupid grading system. If you don't complete each level with a C or higher, you won't progress. The grading system is stupid beyond compare.
Stupid is, stupid does, sir.
At last, after both characters have completed their 3 levels, you move on to Twin Seeds. This level is my favorite, mainly because it's at nighttime, and you play as the kids and not knights. Not to mention that its soundtrack is catchy and awesome. Finally, after completing Twin Seeds, you play as knights again, or I think it's the kids that transformed into knights, but you do battle with Wise Man. Next to the Panzer Dragoon games, Nights into Dreams is one of the best games that the Saturn has to offer. With beautiful colors, interesting gameplay, and a solid soundtrack, Nights into Dreams is one of my personal favorites that every hardcore video game fan needs to experience. Well, that's the Sega Saturn for you. It's not a bad console at all. The design of the console is really cool, and I love the name, Sega Saturn. I mean, come on! That's like the best name for a console. But it really just has a lackluster set of games for us to enjoy. Besides Knights, Panzer Dragoon, and a couple other original games, the Saturn just didn't have the strong software support that the PlayStation had. The Saturn, although being a cult favorite console of mine, it would contribute to Sega's hardware demise. But if it wasn't for the Sega CD and the 32X mistakes, the Saturn could have had the support that the Sega had with the Genesis. But it was just a console that was released too early, and with technology that was still new, the Saturn was just an overhyped mess. And it's really sad to say that. I mean, you can really tell that Sega tried really hard with the Saturn, but they just couldn't beat the PlayStation or the N64. So the Sega Saturn, to me, it's just a... Oh my god. Oh my god! My package! Thanks, mailbox!
You're welcome, jackass!
Yes! It's finally here! I ordered this on eBay a couple days ago for $200. You know what it is? Oh yeah, Panzer Dragoon Saga, baby! The best game on the Saturn, the rarest of all! Let's give this a whirl. Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Nice try, Dork, but you're never getting getting that game while I'm in your head.